90% of car owners don't know they're making car mistakes on their automatic cars, and this costs thousands in car repairs. Before you waste any more money, I'll reveal the 15 things you should never do in your automatic car. Do not skip to save money. Let's dive in. Mistake 15. Shifting between drive and reverse without stopping. We've all done it, backing out of a driveway and then shifting directly to drive while still rolling backward. This puts extreme stress on your transmission's clutches and bands. When you shift between drive and reverse while moving even slightly, you're forcing your transmission to suddenly change direction while components are still spinning. This creates significant wear on the clutch packs and bands. Modern transmissions are sophisticated but not indestructible. Always come to a complete stop before changing directions. Your transmission will thank you by lasting the full lifetime of your vehicle instead of failing prematurely. In CVT transmissions, this maneuver is even more damaging, potentially causing the steel belt to slip or jump position. Transmission repairs for direction change damage typically start at $2,000 and can exceed $4,000 for luxury vehicles. Speaking of stress on your transmission, let's move on to the next mistake. Mistake 14. Holding your car on a hill with just the gas pedal. You're stopped on a hill at a traffic light. Instead of using your brake, you're giving it just enough gas to prevent rolling backward. Your transmission is now caught between the engine's power and gravity's pull. This creates excessive heat in your transmission fluid as the torque converter slips constantly. Transmission fluid breaks down rapidly under heat, leading to premature wear of internal components. Use your brakes to hold position on hills, not your accelerator. Even better, engage the parking brake while stopped on steep inclines, then release it as you accelerate. This simple habit can add years to your transmission's life. If you don't do this, transmission fluid can break down in just 50,000 miles instead of the expected 100,000 plus miles. The excessive slippage also wears out the torque converter's lockup clutch and can glaze the friction surfaces. Many newer vehicles have hill hold assist features specifically to prevent this practice. They temporarily maintain brake pressure when starting on inclines. Mistake 13. Shifting to park before coming to a complete stop. This is one of the most common mistakes I see. You're rolling into a parking spot and shift into park while the car is still moving. That loud clunk you hear? That's the parking pawl, a small metal pin being forced against a moving gear. This creates immediate stress on your transmission components. That tiny pawl isn't designed to stop a moving vehicle, it's only meant to keep a stationary vehicle from rolling. In worst-case scenarios, a broken parking pawl means your car can roll away even when parked. The repair requires transmission disassembly, often costing around $2,500. Most manufacturers specifically warn against this practice in owner's manuals using language like, "Vehicle must be completely stopped before shifting to park." Mistake 12. Flooring it from a standstill. Sometimes you want to feel that acceleration push you back in your seat, but regularly flooring the accelerator from a stop is absolutely punishing your transmission. When you slam the gas pedal, your transmission has to rapidly build pressure to engage the forward gears under maximum load. This creates intense heat and stress on the clutch packs and bands. The transmission fluid temperature spikes, and prolonged high temperatures break down the fluid's lubricating properties. If you want brisk acceleration, apply throttle progressively rather than stomping the pedal. Your transmission wasn't designed for drag racing starts, and replacing it will cost between $3,000 to $8,000, depending on your vehicle. When you floor it from a stop, the transmission control module, TCM, commands maximum pressure almost instantly, which can exceed 300 psi in mainline pressure, near the system's absolute limit. This creates tremendous mechanical shock throughout the drivetrain. The clutch material faces slippage until fully engaged, generating extreme friction heat. The transmission in your average family sedan simply isn't built for this stress level. Mistake 11. Ignoring transmission fluid maintenance. Lifetime fluid is just marketing speak for lifetime of the warranty. Don't fall for it. No fluid lasts forever, especially not transmission fluid that operates under extreme heat and pressure. Degraded transmission fluid loses its lubricating properties and cleaning detergents. It becomes less effective at transferring power and cooling components. Dark, burnt-smelling fluid is a transmission's cry for help. Most manufacturers recommend changes every 30,000 to 60,000 miles for severe conditions, which includes stop-and-go traffic in hot climates. Regular fluid changes cost around $150 to $300, while a replacement transmission can cost between $3,000 and $8,000. Many transmission specialists recommend a fluid flush that replaces nearly 100% of the old fluid. For vehicles with high mileage that have never had the fluid change, some technicians recommend against complete fluid changes, as the new detergents might dislodge accumulated deposits that were actually plugging leaks or keeping worn components functioning. Mistake 10. Constantly shifting to neutral at stoplights. Many drivers were taught to shift to neutral at red lights to save fuel or reduce wear. This advice is outdated and actually harmful for modern automatic transmissions. Today's fuel-injected engines use minimal fuel at idle with the brake pressed. Meanwhile, every shift between drive and neutral creates wear on your shift linkage and internal components. Plus, shifting to neutral at lights eliminates your ability to move quickly if an emergency arises. Modern transmissions are designed to stay in drive at stops. The torque converter effectively disconnects the engine from the wheels when you're stationary with your foot on the brake. Keep it simple, leave it in drive. When you shift back to drive from neutral, the transmission must rebuild line pressure and re-engage the forward clutches. This momentary engagement under even light throttle accelerates wear on the friction surfaces. From a fuel economy perspective, modern engine management systems reduce fuel delivery to near minimum levels when idling in drive with brakes applied. The difference in fuel consumption between drive and neutral at a 60-second stoplight is typically less than 0.01 gallons. Literally pennies of fuel saved while creating dollars of wear. Additionally, many newer vehicles have auto start-stop systems that shut off the engine regardless of whether you're in drive or neutral when stopped. Mistake 9. Resting your hand on the shifter. This habit puts constant pressure on the shift mechanism and internal components. Even slight pressure on the shifter can partially engage the selector fork against the synchronizer or clutch pack, creating premature wear. Over time, this leads to sloppy shifting and potential transmission damage. Keep both hands on the steering wheel where they belong. It's safer and better for your vehicle. If your car has paddle shifters in a sport mode, use those for manual control rather than the shift lever. In vehicles with mechanical shift linkages, resting weight on the shifter transfers force directly to the selector mechanisms inside the transmission, creating friction and wear at contact points. In cable-operated shifters, the constant tension stretches the cables over time, causing imprecise shifting. For electronically controlled shift-by-wire systems, pressure on the shifter still stresses the mechanical components, potentially damaging position sensors or switch contacts. Repair costs can vary from $200 for a simple shifter cable replacement to $1,500 for internal selector fork repairs requiring transmission disassembly. Beyond mechanical wear, this habit reduces driving safety by keeping one hand off the steering wheel, potentially increasing reaction time in emergency situations. Mistake 8. Coasting downhill in neutral. Many drivers coast downhill in neutral, thinking they're saving fuel. In modern cars, this actually wastes gas and creates a serious safety issue. When coasting in drive with your foot off the accelerator, most modern cars cut fuel almost completely, known as deceleration fuel cutoff. In neutral, however, the engine needs to keep burning fuel to maintain idle. You're also eliminating engine braking, putting all stopping responsibility on your brakes alone. On long descents, this can lead to brake overheating and potential failure. Stay in drive while going downhill, it's safer and more efficient. On steep or long descents, relying solely on friction brakes can cause temperatures to exceed 900 degrees Fahrenheit at the brake rotors, potentially leading to brake fade, where stopping power dramatically decreases due to heat-induced gas buildup between the pads and rotors. Many states actually have laws against coasting in neutral on public roads, classifying it as failure to maintain proper control of a vehicle, which is a ticketable offense in most jurisdictions. Mistake 7. Driving with both feet. Yes, people do this. Unless you're driving a manual transmission, there's absolutely no reason to use your left foot for braking. Two-foot driving creates dangerous situations and premature wear. Most two-footed drivers unconsciously rest their left foot lightly on the brake pedal, causing constant brake drag, premature wear, and continuously illuminated brake lights that confuse other drivers. In panic situations, you're also likely to slam both pedals, confusing your vehicle's safety systems. Stick with one foot for both pedals, right foot only for automatic transmissions. It's the proper technique taught by every professional driving instructor for a reason. Studies show that most two-foot drivers unconsciously apply 2 to 5 pounds of pressure to the brake pedal even when attempting to hover above it. Modern brake systems require only 5 to 10 pounds of pressure to engage the brake pads against the rotors. This constant light contact accelerates brake pad wear by up to 30% and can increase rotor temperatures during normal driving. Always illuminated brake lights create a "boy who cried wolf" situation for following drivers, who may begin to ignore your brake lights, potentially leading to rear-end collisions. Additionally, in emergencies requiring maximum braking force, the right foot can typically apply greater pressure, 100+ pounds, than the left foot, 60–80 pounds, in untrained drivers. Mistake 6. Shifting to neutral while coasting to a stop. Some drivers shift to neutral when approaching red lights or stop signs. Like coasting downhill, this doesn't save fuel in modern cars and creates safety concerns. Beyond the fuel misconception, you're also significantly increasing your reaction time in emergency situations. If you suddenly need to accelerate to avoid a hazard, you'll first need to shift back to drive and wait for engagement. Those lost seconds can be critical. Keep your car in drive when slowing down, it's ready to respond instantly if needed. The delay when shifting from neutral back to drive can be 0.5 to 1.5 seconds, depending on transmission design and vehicle speed. Your vehicle travels 44 feet per second at 30 miles per hour, meaning this delay could cost you 2266 feet of critical maneuvering distance in an emergency. Modern transmissions employ torque management strategies during deceleration that protect internal components. Shifting to neutral disrupts this process and reduces fluid circulation to certain transmission parts. Additionally, traction and stability control systems function properly only when the transmission remains in drive during deceleration. Mistake 5. Revving a cold engine in park or neutral. Aggressively revving your engine before it's warmed up is like sprinting immediately after waking up. Your body isn't ready, and neither is your car. Cold engine oil hasn't reached proper pressure or temperature, and cold transmission fluid is thicker, preventing it from flowing properly through all the narrow passages. Revving the engine under these conditions creates high loads before lubrication is adequate, leading to accelerated wear. Modern fuel-injected engines don't need to warm up through revving. Instead, they warm up best under light load while driving gently. Let your car idle for 30 to 60 seconds longer in extreme cold, then drive moderately until reaching operating temperature. Automatic transmission fluid can be up to 10 times more viscous when cold. This affects the precise operation of valve bodies, solenoids, and pressure regulators. At cold temperatures, transmission shift quality is compromised as clutch application becomes less precise. Aggressive revving can cause erratic pressure spikes in both the engine oiling system and transmission hydraulics. Modern engines equipped with variable valve timing, direct injection, and turbochargers are particularly susceptible to cold start wear, as these systems rely on precise oil pressure regulation that isn't possible with cold, thick oil. Manufacturer warranty data shows that vehicles regularly subjected to high RPM cold starts experience significantly higher rates of premature engine and transmission failure. Mistake 4. Ignoring early warning signs. That slight hesitation before shifting, the occasional hard shift, or the whining noise when accelerating. These aren't just quirks. They're your transmission's early warning signals. Transmissions rarely fail without warning. They usually exhibit subtle symptoms weeks or months before a major failure. Ignoring these signs allows small, inexpensive problems to develop into complete failures requiring full replacement. If you notice any changes in how your transmission shifts or sounds, get it checked immediately. Early intervention often costs hundreds instead of thousands. Understanding specific warning signs can save your transmission. Unusual noises have specific meanings too. Modern transmissions use adaptive learning algorithms that can temporarily compensate for wearing components by adjusting shift timing and pressure. This can mask problems until they become severe. Professional diagnostic equipment can read these adaptive values, revealing developing issues before they cause noticeable symptoms. Most transmission specialists report that 70 to 80% of catastrophic failures show warning signs at least 5,000 miles before complete failure. Don't ignore those early indicators. Mistake 3. Exceeding your vehicle's tow rating. Your vehicle's tow rating isn't just a suggestion, it's a hard limit based on extensive engineering tests. Exceeding it puts extreme stress on your entire drivetrain, especially your transmission. Towing creates additional heat and strain on transmission components. Manufacturers calculate ratings based on what your cooling system and transmission can handle without overheating. Exceeding those limits leads to fluid breakdown and component failure. If you need to tow heavy loads regularly, invest in a vehicle properly rated for that purpose. No amount of transmission coolers or aftermarket upgrades will safely convert your family sedan into a heavy-duty truck. Manufacturer tow ratings account for multiple factors beyond just engine power. When towing, transmission fluid temperatures can increase by 100 degrees Fahrenheit above normal, approaching or exceeding the fluid's thermal breakdown threshold. At these temperatures, transmission fluid oxidizes rapidly, forming varnish and sludge while losing its lubricating properties. Manufacturers design specific transmission cooler sizes and cooling strategies based on the vehicle's tow rating. Exceeding this rating overwhelms these systems. Professional transmission shops report that vehicles regularly used for towing beyond their rated capacity typically require transmission rebuilds at 50 to 60% of their normal service life. Mistake 2. Using the wrong transmission fluid. Modern transmissions have extremely specific fluid requirements. Using incorrect fluid is like putting diesel in a gasoline engine. Catastrophic results will follow. Different transmission fluids have unique friction characteristics, viscosity ratings, and additive packages specifically engineered for particular transmission designs. Using the wrong type can cause slipping, harsh shifts, overheating, and complete failure. Some vehicles even use different fluids for power steering and transmission, despite similar appearances. Always use the exact specification listed in your owner's manual, not generic multi-vehicle fluids. Precision matters enormously. For example, continuously variable transmissions, CVTs, require fluids with unique friction properties for their steel belt and pulley systems. Using conventional ATF in a CVT can cause belt slippage and catastrophic failure within hundreds of miles. The difference in friction coefficients between fluid types can be as much as 30%, directly affecting shift quality and component lifespan. Transmission valve bodies contain passages as small as 0.010 inches, 0.25 millimeters, in diameter. The wrong fluid viscosity can cause pressure regulation problems through these precise orifices. Mixing fluid types can lead to chemical reactions, resulting in sludge formation or seal deterioration. Mistake 1. Skipping regular maintenance. Your owner's manual maintenance schedule isn't a collection of optional suggestions. It's the blueprint for keeping your car running for hundreds of thousands of miles. Regular transmission service includes fluid changes, filter replacement, inspection of mounts, checking for leaks, and computer system updates. Skipping these services is like never going to the doctor for checkups. Problems develop undetected until they become serious. Follow the severe service maintenance schedule if you drive in traffic, hot weather, cold weather, or make short trips, which covers most drivers. Proper maintenance might cost a few hundred every couple of years, but it prevents multi-thousand-dollar repairs down the road. Manufacturer data shows that vehicles receiving regular transmission service according to maintenance schedules last on average 2.5 times longer before requiring major transmission work compared to vehicles with neglected maintenance. For high-mileage vehicles, transmission specialists often recommend more frequent fluid changes, every 30,000 miles instead of 60,000, and adding supplemental coolers for severe service applications. The cost difference is significant. Regular maintenance averaging $250 $400 every 30,000 60,000 miles versus complete transmission replacement at $3,000 $8,000 when failure occurs. Taking care of your car's transmission is crucial for maintaining its longevity, reliability, and performance. By avoiding these common mistakes, you can save yourself thousands of dollars in repairs and extend the life of your vehicle. Whether it's shifting properly, maintaining fluid levels, or being mindful of how you drive, these small habits make a significant difference. Remember, regular maintenance is your best defense against transmission failure. Listen to your car. When it shows signs of trouble, address them promptly. Investing a little time and effort now will keep your car running smoothly for years to come. Be proactive, drive responsibly, and protect your investment. Your car, and your wallet, will thank you. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more practical car advice.